This is a quick video actually about using Reddit to market your books, market really anything. I actually came across this tactic when I had my own online business where we were actually selling e-juice for a while, and I used Reddit to generate about half of our sales, especially at the beginning. At the beginning was probably most of our sales. And if you're active on Reddit especially, this is great for you because if you're a writer on Reddit, you're probably already going to a lot of places where you can get help on Reddit. So not even just marketing, but if you go, you can do a search for it. I can find everything here. Just to get to know it. People reading books, people that are looking for book reviews, people talking about books. Book. I typed in read originally, I don't know why. There's the 52 book challenge. It's one book per week for a year, and then you discuss your progress. That's actually a great one to see what people are reading when they're reading that much at once. And then so many books, so little time in this Sharp Books. You see what a lot of people are reading, and people just talking about reading and talking about their love for it, and you can really see what people are liking in books, what people don't like in books. It's a great place for market research right there. But marketing in general, you're going to need market research. You're going to need to look at what are people like, what are people reading, what people like, what people don't like. If you're on Amazon and you're mostly making your money through Select or through Kindle Select, which would be Kindle Unlimited for the readers, but your Kindle Unlimited readers are reading your books, and then they make a change to it, and you just see your sales dip, and you're not sure why, you're not sure what all the uproar is. Come here, maybe there's somebody that's on here complaining about it. You can see, oh, this is why everyone's leaving. But look at how many subscribers are here. 13 million subscribers. There's 13 million people. When they come up, they want this for easy access. It also means that out of this 13 million, this is 7:30 on a Friday night, not the most popular time for people to be online. A lot of people want to go out, have drinks. They're enjoying their Fridays, right? There's 1,400 people on right here. So if you post and it gets upvoted and you can stay on this front page for a while, you're going to get some traffic. Now, every page is going to have rules. So, like a link to you promoting your books, it's not going to work. But you talking about books, you engaging with people on here, you're going to be able to drive traffic that way. And through people asking for recommendations. So, maybe you pop on here, someone's looking for a horror book. Boom. Let's talk. You enter a 5M post. This is what I like to talk about. This is what I like to write. Or maybe you're just reading books and you're leaving posts on here and saying, hey, I also talk about this on my blog. Using Reddit to drive traffic is a great thing. This page I would use more for market research than I would use for actually getting hits on my website or getting people to actually come to my website and buy something, or go to Kindle and buy something, or go to the Nook and buy something. As a horror writer, I typed in -horror. So I typed in horror comes up. All things horror. Right here, No Sleep. No Sleep's a great place if you're writing horror, anything scary. You're going to see the kind of things people are interested in just from people sharing their little things. And maybe you share yours too. And eventually people will ask you questions, or you can it's a great place for feedback. No Sleep. Put up a short story, see what people think. But -horror, there's 139,000 subscribers on this. So what I've done is, if I write a blog post that is about horror in general, so like I wrote a blog post about the Cenobites. So I was interested in the Cenobites. I was reading about a lot of Clive Barker's work, did a bunch of research in the Cenobites, so I wrote a post about the Cenobites. I like the Cenobites. They're mostly in movies than they are in books. They're in a few of his books, but there's a lot more material on them for movies. But it's cross-genre. It works. So, well, it's cross-platform, not cross-genre. It's both horror. I apologize. But it works. So I posted on here, and you can see a lot of these don't have a lot of upvotes on them. A lot of them are 2 and 3s. But I had my Cenobites one alone. It drove over, I think, 600 hits on my website within a day. And that's just one post on here. So when you first start out, that can actually result in a lot. That's better than I think I was doing when I sold e-juice, for how many hits we would do just posting something saying we had a sale. Now, another great thing about this too is when you're putting it on here, you're going to get people who respond on Reddit that wouldn't respond to you on your blog. So say I put up that post about the Cenobites and it was awful and everybody hated it. This is going to get downvoted immediately by the first, so I'm going to lose any traffic that would have generated. And then on top of that, what's going to happen is people are going to put in little comments saying, hey, you suck, this is why. Usually, people say it nice. Sometimes you're going to get people that will flat out tell you, hey, no one likes you, go away. Alright, someone even just called me a douchebag once. I think another person called me a douche nozzle right after they called me a douchebag. But you're going to get that. A dildo. I got called a dildo on that same post. I don't even remember which one it was. You're going to get a lot of stuff like that from when you post on here. But Reddit's a great way to drive traffic. And it's quick ways to get traffic to your website. Quick ways to drive people to your website. I wouldn't post on here every day. I would post articles when you do them that are very horror related. So, especially movies, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff about movies on here. People love horror movies. If you write horror, do that. There's fantasy sections. There's mystery sections. There's parts where if people watch the movies a lot about something and they're really into that kind of movie, they're probably also into reading it. Less of them are probably into reading it than watching the movies, but a lot of them are going to be into watching or reading what they're watching. Just another note on that for anyone that might not think that putting something out in a place where people are mostly going to talk about movies is a good idea, especially any naysayers. I did a poll on a popular Facebook group. They talk about horror all day. My Facebook feed is blown up constantly with just this one group, and it's only got about 60,000 members in it. So I put up a thing saying, hey, it's a poll. How many of you read horror? How many of you watch horror? How many of you do both? And 80% of the horror fans in that 60,000 people group, out of the 245 that responded, 80% of horror movie fans in there were also reading horror. So it kind of gives you a good idea. So if I can drive more traffic, have an 80% chance that the person who's reading my post about, say, a horror movie I watched, which is more content for my blog, which is more content for people to read, and it's just a short post. It took me 5 minutes that I was going to sit and watch the credits of the movie before I started another movie anyway. Why not do that post? Why not do that post, drive more traffic, and then post that to Reddit, where 80% of the people there are going to read horror based on this. And I think that you need something like 32 people to form a true statistic. So it's 245. This should be a fairly realistic statistic of what you're looking at least with horror. That's another thing a lot of people I don't see doing is they're not going into these Facebook groups and they're not asking questions. You know, I see horror writers that get on Facebook groups that are in the same horror groups I am, and they just say, look at my book, look at my book, look at my book. You got to do market research. You got to look at things. You got to say, hey, how many people of this are doing this? How many people in this group do this? Is it worth my time being here? According to this group, yeah, it is worth my time being here, because 80% of the people in this group, they're going to be doing it. They're going to be looking at it, and it's a similar kind of stuff as to what you would see on that Reddit page that are in this horror group. You want to kind of look for things that sync up. So if you're in a Facebook group you're getting really good sales out of, you're getting good response out of, is there a page on Reddit that's the same? Is there a page on Reddit where they're going to talk about a similar thing or the same thing? And is it within the rules of that Reddit page that you can partake in that and you can get people to go to your blog, to go to your Kindle page, to go to your Nook page, to generate those sales? You're going to gain trust by being in all these places and getting everyone to do that. I spend maybe 30 minutes a day on marketing, and that's because right now I'm really pushing to grow my website so I can grow sales with the upcoming releases that I have. Long term, I'm planning on doing about 5 to 10 minutes of marketing every day, and that's it. And it's not that long. It's a quick blog post. If you're a writer, it shouldn't take that long to write a blog post. You're a writer, right? Put it in places people will find it. Reddit is great for that. Facebook is great for that. Twitter is good if you can get a good following with people that like to click on links. But Twitter is one of those random things where you put something out, you might do great. Put something out, you might do bad. It's not really even dependent on what it is. It depends on who happens to open their phone at the right time. Because Twitter is basically just a whole bunch of people on soapboxes shouting.